Hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode 9 of the Standout Media Podcast. As always, I am your host, Mr. Jantix, joined by my co host, Rozoku.
Hey guys, how we doing?
I assume everybody's doing good because I didn't hear anything bad, so
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, I hope everybody out there's doing good. There's a lot bad in the world, and I hope nobody's experiencing it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. How have you been there, Rozoku?
I'm alright, just taking it day by day like everybody else, I think. How about you? How's anything new in the world of Mr. Dantix?
I feel that. Nothing really new. I'm trying to think. It's just been a hectic week. So, like, my kid got sick, but he wasn't really sick, but he got home from
Ooh,
school. So that was
right.
fun to
That
deal with.
stinks.
Yeah, I mean, he was just feeling warm and not feeling himself, but after a few hours of being home, he was fine and went back to school the next day. So, just kid things. Besides that, life's been the same. But let's jump into the big news this week. At least the probably the biggest news that happened is Nintendo suing Palworld developer. I'm sure you heard
Finally.
about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. The weirdest part is
Yeah.
that it's
I
not a
mean,
copyright
it
law.
wasn't or came out. Yeah, there's no way. They're like, I don't know, man. Whenever it was first announced, it's like, oh, it's Pokemon with guns, and then how close it was to Pokemon. There's no way that they wouldn't. This isn't the outcome. In no world is this not the outcome.
Yeah. So essentially, Nintendo kind of hinted, and lawyers kind of hinted that there's no grounds for copyright because the characters aren't similar enough, which is I thought was interesting. And
That's.
the lawsuit is purely on game mechanics alone and not on any similarities between character designs.
I
Because
mean, I guess. But like, is that enough to um, copyright claims? Is just, oh, this one's yellow instead of black, or we change color. So clearly, it's a different creature.
um, I guess they also the way they created the characters is different, and they have proof of how they created the characters from like concept to them being in the game. I guess is how they got away with that. Because yeah, a few of them are pretty similar. But then again, Nintendo pretty much stole all their character designs from Square Enix. So
Of course, yeah.
back, what was it, Dragon Quest in the 80s had essentially the original
Yeah,
150
Dragon Quest
Pokemon.
had.
And then
Yep.
Nintendo's like, we're just going to take all of these characters and make a different game. So,
Well, I mean, if you own the rights to that creature or whatever, and then they weren't exactly the same in Dragon Quest, but you can see where, like, oh, they got it from.
yeah. I mean, but anyway, it doesn't even matter because that's not why they're suing them. So,
Right, exactly, yeah.
yeah, they literally said they didn't have a case for that, so they're suing them for what do you call it? Intellectual property? No, patent infringement. There you go. That's the word.
Yep. A
Which
patent
is
suit and not a copyright suit.
yes, it's in Japan, which makes sense because Nintendo and Pocketpair are both Japanese companies. Jeez. Um, the weirdest thing is that I mean the court documents haven't come out, so nobody knows exactly what's happening with the court case yet. But the best
Yeah.
speculations that I've seen is that they're Nintendo. I'm thinking how to properly describe this. So Palworld was announced summer of 2021. Nintendo filed a bunch of patents on stuff December to 2021, so like 6 months later. Palworld came out early this year. Nintendo in July got a bunch of patents approved in all that. And then 2 months later, there's this lawsuit for patents. So people are thinking that based on the timeline and this game being announced before Nintendo even filed for the patents, it might get thrown out.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, but again, we're not lawyers. The court documents haven't come out, so even like lawyers online don't know what's gonna happen yet. So, and Japanese is different than American court system. So
yeah, the legal systems are a little bit different.
yeah,
In keeping with Nintendo news, did you see the Nintendo Switch 2 prototype images?
I have not.
Ooh, well, here, let me see if I can send them to you. I'm not on my regular computer today. If I sound any different, sorry. But
Unacceptable.
here, I am sending it to you now. I just sent it to you.
Okay.
So, the alleged Switch 2 prototype images appeared on a file hosting site alongside a slide of details that shows the upcoming hardware specs. Based on the specs, in terms of internal components, the prototype of Nintendo's next generation console features an SoC onboard memory of 6 gigabytes, flash memory of 256 gigabytes, an onboard audio chip, an NFC reader, built-in microphone, dual cooling fans paired with copper heatsink, video signal conversion, which is the DisplayPort to HDMI 2.1, and an onboard network chip. So that's pretty sweet. It looks basically like a regular Switch, except the screen on it is a little bit bigger, a little bit nicer, more resolution.
So it's kind of the
A
size of the
refresh
OLED.
rate of 120 hertz, leaving the possibility. Yeah. They're going for a target frame rate of 120 frames a second, which is insane on a handheld.
They're not going to
And
hit
they're
that.
saying that it'll retail for around 400 US American dollars.
These images look like straight up 3D printer files ripped off of one of those.
I get that.
Even
But
the one of the
independent sources
actual.
have claimed that they say that that's what it's gonna be. Like they're I know it's a weird like but this is what we have to go on right now.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying it's funny how some of these prototypes and stuff just look like straight up like 3D renders.
Oh yeah.
The $400 price
You
tag.
figure we're in the future. That's what things are gonna look like.
Yeah, that's true.
The $400 price tag is interesting because I think what was the Switch was 300, right?
350, I believe, on launch.
Yeah. So it's keeping in that same price range. And Nintendo's really good about backwards compatibility. So I assume even if it's labeled as a Switch 2, it'll still play all the original Switch titles.
Yeah, I don't. The 120 frames also is weird, but I know they do have the AI upscaling that like the PS5 Pro and that PCs have, like a DLSS and all that. So I mean, I can see it being upscaled, but if I'm not mistaken, those are roughly PS4 level graphic stuff.
Remember,
So
it's in a handheld though. So even if the graphics aren't, 8K and 60 FPS, it's a handheld, which is crazy.
yeah, I mean, it is going to be dockable, so it is going to be playable on a big screen, and that's when you're going to start getting the noticeable resolution drop, probably. But
Right.
on handheld mode,
But
yeah.
if I'm in an airport and I want to play, the new Star Wars or the new whatever I'm playing at the time, the Zelda or the Mario, then it's gonna look and run amazing,
Did you
all for half the
say?
price of a ROG Ally.
Did you say the resolution they're targeting?
Resolution that they're targeting is 120 hertz. I don't
Resolution, not
think it has
frame
an
rate.
actual. No, I know. I don't.
Okay.
I don't think it has an actual.
I thought I heard previously that they were targeting a 1080, like full HD, but not like a 2 or 4K.
Oh, that'd be nice. Um, I'm not seeing anything on resolution, just frame rate.
I'm not on this website that you sent either. I know that about a month ago, there were some developers who let it leak that they were told by Nintendo not to expect this to launch before March, like not to expect it in this fiscal year, but to expect the
Oh
announcement
yeah,
in this fiscal year. So it looks like it keeps getting
I
slightly
can see
delayed.
them announcing it around Christmas or even after.
Yeah, Switch 1 was announced in January. So if they
And
announce it January, February timeline, release it maybe early summer. Because Switch 1 launched in March, I want to say. So it'll be interesting to
mm,
see what time frame they choose for this. I'm also super curious as to backwards compatibility and the such. Because,
well, again, Nintendo's known for their backwards compatibility, so
yeah,
I don't see them releasing a console and saying, "Oh, nope, none of your games will work."
the company that has the least backwards compatible titles of any console maker in the history of ever.
What, Nintendo? No.
Yeah, their whole motto is we don't re release games, we
Well,
only make games for our
exactly. That's
console.
why they release them. They make it so you can play them on their current gen console. If you want to play
No,
the
you're.
original Legend of,
I thought you were
you
being
can
sarcastic because
download.
they're like
No, of course
their
not.
whole motto is yeah, well, you
The
can't backwards
the
compatibility
Wii
anything.
was able to play. No, the Wii had GameCube slots, man.
Yeah, then they patched it out.
The GameCube had an adapter for your Game Boy Advance that could play your original Game Boy. Like they're really good about backwards compatibility, especially on
This
their current disc games.
the Switch can't play anything. The Wii had an update shortly after it came out that
So
made it not able to play GameCube games. The Wii U was essentially
look,
just a Wii extension.
you're such a hater, man. Come
I
on.
am.
Then the 64 you could play your old Super Nintendo games on.
Could you?
No, you couldn't.
I was gonna
No,
say that was a
of course
different cartridge, wasn't
not.
it? The 64 had
Yeah,
the
the
rounded one.
cartridge-based games were all different. Yeah. But no, whenever the
Nintendo's been
GameCube
hit or
came out,
miss.
they yeah.
I know I'm being a
Well,
hater,
at
but
least whenever the Wii came out, you were still able to play your GameCube games and connect your GameCube controllers to it.
yes, which was
It
super
wasn't
nice.
until the second iteration of the Wii that you couldn't. They got rid of the controller adapters or the controller slots on it. You had to buy a controller adapter.
Yeah, but they also made it so the chip that
And then
ran the
yeah.
GameCube games wasn't included in the later SKUs of the Wii as well. I don't remember the time frame. I think it was like
Oh yeah, that was
later on in
the
life. It
Wii
wasn't
had.
early on.
Oh yeah, the Wii had three different
SKUs.
SKUs, I guess, creations. I don't know which consoles. Where the original model had a little flap on top that allowed you to plug in your GameCube memory cards and GameCube controllers. The
Yep.
second iteration got rid of the flap and got rid of the accessibility of those. And then the third generation was super weird. It was a pop open disc console, which that thing was crazy. If you ever look up those,
I think I remember those.
the Wii U only had two different SKUs. It was black and white. But that one also you couldn't plug in your controllers to. That was kind of whenever they were moving away from the GameCube and backwards compatibility. Everything was kind of online. You were forced to download the games.
Yeah. Also, that
But that's
console was such a short lifespan.
because it wasn't thought like they didn't. I don't know what they were thinking with that.
Just
Like it gave us the Switch at least with that giant controller that they were using.
yeah, the Wii
But
U gamepad.
I don't. Yeah,
But the Switch is not backwards compatible at all. Um,
you could download games.
you could download games,
Your
but they had to
Nintendo
be the
library that you
Switch version, or they had to
had.
make it available, and you had to pay a
Yeah, that's
subscription
what I'm
on
saying.
top
Is
of
whenever,
buying the game. I think, right?
but that subscription got you a lot of vintage quote unquote games for your GameCube, your Super Nintendo, your Nintendo, your 64.
Yeah,
You,
when they
it,
came out,
it
it
was
took them a
worth
while to
it,
release them.
and it was only $20 a year for that,
I know it's
or $20 a month, I think. It was
no, it
something
was
crazy
20 a
cheap.
year,
Yeah, exactly. It was
but
super worth
not
it.
for the backwards compatible. 20 a year was for their online. I think it was 60 a year for backwards compatible games.
No, for their online, you actually got you got the classic console apps that you could download to your Switch that gave you access to the Super Nintendo, Nintendo,
On some
uh,
of them,
Virtual Boy,
you had to
64.
buy the family or the upgraded online pass to play other ones. I think it was N64 was part of the upgraded one because I had to get that for Jess.
Yeah, it was worth it, man.
I mean, for
That's
the
why I'm saying they're
it's a low
they're
price.
very good about their yeah.
I just know they have a reputation online for being not backwards compatible, people friendly. So I was trying to get those trolls in our chats, you know.
Well, I mean, if you look at PlayStation or Xbox, you can't play. mm, You can
Xbox is the
sort of play
leader.
some of the
Switch
games,
is
but
Nintendo's in the middle. PlayStation's at the back end for backwards compatible.
yeah.
Switch
So
just
I can
has
put my
weird
PS2
decisions.
game or PS6 or PS5.
Yeah, I mean, PlayStation it makes sense though because they tried a whole new console setup with the PS3 that isn't compatible with like any
That's yeah.
other. So those games are hard to get. Although in
I remember
recent
when the
months,
PS3 first launched. Go ahead.
I was gonna say in recent months they've said that they created a team to try to see if they can make PS3 games natively playable on newer
Which would be
consoles.
great
Yeah.
because PS3 used that Blu-ray disc that everybody uses now.
Mm-hmm.
You have to remember when the PS3 first came out, they had that 80 gig model, or sorry, the 60 gig model that allowed you to play PS1 and PS2 games.
Yep.
Then they got rid of it later on whenever they came out with the slimlined PS3 that everybody purchased. But that was an awesome time to be a gamer because you had one console that played everything.
Except for the price tag was a little bit high,
I mean, yeah,
but you know,
that
they
was
were the leaders.
2003 money.
Yeah, and they were the market leaders by a lot. So they, were trying to flex their powers. The market corrected
You
it
have
a
to
little
remember
bit.
too, for that price, you got not only a console but a Blu-ray player. Blu-ray players back then were crazy expensive.
I guess that's fair. I bought mine for like $50 back then. It was a Samsung, I think. Still have it, or my parents
Aren't
still
you
have it.
special?
I don't know. I just got one that could play Blu-rays. I was like,
No, that was my thing. Was like, oh man, $500, and I can play all my PS2 and PS1 games, and I have this cool new HD player because the highest resolution you got back then was DVD.
oh, I'm thinking PS4 gen. My bad. That's when I bought my Blu-ray player.
No.
Because it was like towards the end. No,
By
yeah,
the
that's
time
right.
PS4 came out, yeah.
The PS3 gen, my parents bought me because I was too young to buy a console. I was like early teens, mid teens maybe. And they were just like, here's an Xbox 360, even though you had a PS1 and PS2. So
I will say the 360 was the superior console to the PlayStation 3. Just
it was
because
also cheaper and
the
it came out a year
gaming
earlier.
and the yeah, and the Xbox Live was a lot better than PlayStation Online.
Yeah. Well, I mean, PlayStation went down for like what, 3 months or something.
Yeah.
That was
And they had that giant leak of information.
yeah, it was a
I don't
rough
know if you
time.
remember that. That was a big thing. The one cool thing that PlayStation did was the free games with PlayStation Plus, where Xbox, the free games were more like arcade games, where Sony actually gave you like, oh, we're giving you Resident Evil or um, Silent Hill or God of War, or so
You're
they
talking about
gave you
the
better games.
with the free monthly games.
Yeah,
Uh, I don't remember too much. Xbox started it, and then PlayStation copied, if I remember right.
but PlayStation did it better because the games that you got were of higher quality than the Xbox titles that you received.
I would have to look that up because I thought it was the opposite. I mean, I could have a bias being
Cool.
forced to
At
play on
least the way I
Xbox.
remember it. I remember getting
I know that. I mean,
preferred Xbox to PlayStation, but that was me.
Xbox doesn't even do that anymore, so I think PlayStation
Well,
still
because
does.
you have Game Pass now with Xbox. It's included with your Xbox Ultimate Online.
Yeah,
20
if you have
bucks a month
Ultimate.
gets you uh, 500 games or something like that.
Yep. But even before they sunsetted that games for gold feature, the quality of the games are just going downhill. Like each year, the value, the MSRP value of the games they were
Yeah.
releasing on there was like less than the year before.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah. Speaking of Xbox Game Pass, I have a news story on that.
Ooh, what
That
you got?
it happened during or shortly after our podcast last week, but their new tiers launched last week on the
Oh,
12th.
I'm not aware of this.
Yeah, so you know how they revamped how Game Pass works. I think we talked about it a couple of months ago, like on one of the first
A
episodes.
while back we talked about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so essentially, starting now, day one is only Ultimate, so you don't get day one games on the standard tier or the console tier. You only get it on PC or Ultimate. And when they rolled it out, the standard tier last week, they removed a ton of games, like retroactively.
Oh, that's good.
So people who had the games the day before didn't have them anymore. Um,
Even if they downloaded them?
I'm not exactly sure how that works because it's technically a new tier. I know if you have Xbox Game Pass console, you get to keep that as long as you have your subscription active. You can get grandfathered in, and you still get day one games. But as soon as you stop payments or switch to another tier, you can't go back because that tier doesn't exist anymore.
Interesting.
But day one is no longer on the standard tier, and it's $15 a month. So that includes Game Pass Core multiplayer and a handful of select Game Pass titles, I think. It's super weird. It just doesn't make any sense. So it's like let's see if I can count. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 21, 22, 26, 27, 28, 30, 41 games got removed.
I mean, in the grand scheme, that's not a huge amount.
When there's
Do you know if
only
they were like AAA or if they were
both.
smaller? Oh, okay.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 got removed. Diablo 4 got removed. MLB The Show got removed. But then the games like Little Kitty Big City got removed. Hellblade 2 got removed. Slime Rancher.
Hmm.
Turnip Boy.
Not
Still Wakes
Slime
to Deep.
Rancher.
Starfield.
Turnip
Star
Boy
Trucker.
commits tax evasion?
No.
Starfield? No
Turnip Boy
way.
robs a bank. The second one.
Oh,
The
okay,
newer
I can
one.
see him doing the second one. Yeah,
But
I can see him
like
doing that
games like Go Mecha Ball, I think
one.
it's been on there for a
Their
while.
mainstays like their Gears of War, their Call of Duties, their Halos.
Call of Duty got
all
removed.
that stuff
Halo's
is-
still on there.
Yeah.
Forza Motorsport
Which
got
Call of
removed.
Duty got removed?
Which-
Really?
What'd you ask?
Oh, which Call of Duty got removed?
There's only one on Game Pass. It's Modern Warfare 3.
Oh, really? There's only one? That's
Yeah.
interesting. I would have figured they'd had a few of them on there because
Um,
they own Activision now, don't they?
Well, that's why Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 6 are going to be on Ultimate tier.
Okay.
They have so many games coming out from first party alone, not to mention the partnerships that they have, that it doesn't really make sense for them to just start releasing a bunch of games and then nobody's going to play a lot of their games. So I think they're just waiting for next
Right.
year
Yeah.
when there's like a lull in game releases. It's just weird that some of these games like Hellblade 2 and Starfield got removed when they came out a year ago.
Yeah, I'm surprised Starfield got removed because wasn't that first party Xbox title?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
'Cause
Forza Motorsport, that's been out for a while.
Does Microsoft own Bethesda Studios now too?
Yeah, that's the one they bought in 2021.
Yeah, and Bethesda put out Starfield, or
Yep.
are they working on Star Citizen?
Starfield.
I get those confused.
Starfield's the
yeah.
Bethesda one.
What was the one that Obsidian put out? That was
Outer Worlds.
That was Outer Worlds. Okay, or Outer Wilds.
Outer Wilds was the indie game.
Okay.
Outer Worlds was the
Too many
Obsidian.
games sound so similar. Man.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, oh, it's Star Citizen, Starfield, and they're gonna play like Outer
StarCraft.
Worlds, which sounds like Outer Wilds. Yeah, like
Star Conflict is another one.
oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean,
In other news,
yeah, it's just not
sorry,
good.
go ahead.
I was gonna say just
Yeah,
if you are a Game Pass subscriber, just double check your stuff, and then yeah, that's it.
yeah. I was gonna bring up in other news. So Sony announced the PlayStation Pro, and they also announced a limited collector's edition of that PlayStation Pro,
Yes.
coming out in the 30th anniversary limited edition gray color.
Yeah, it comes out in November, right? I think I saw.
Yep. They're releasing a DualSense controller, a console. Both the PlayStation Pro and the PS5 digital are getting a special collector's edition gray, and they're making the portable one as well. I can't
PlayStation
think what
Portal.
it's called off the top of my head. Yeah. What? I thought they called it something different than the PSP.
Nope.
Oh, wow.
Nope. The first handheld was a
they're
PlayStation
coming
Portable.
with
This was
those
the
too.
PlayStation Portal.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I thought they called it something different. It's
Nope.
like, no way, they just called it the PSP. Okay. Well, fine. But it looks like the original PS1 came out December 3rd. Pre-orders will open for this on September 26th, and they will release on November 21st. Only the reason that I bring up the December 3rd release date of the original PlayStation is because they're only creating 12,300 30th anniversary PS5 Pro consoles.
God, they're gonna go for so much on the resale market.
Maybe, I mean, if you remember, so PlayStation 4 did a 20th anniversary, 25th anniversary, and they did the same kind of thing with this. I don't know how much those go for these days, but I know they released a special edition color for it, much like the gray that this one is.
Yeah. The issue with this is that it's a bundle, so all the stuff, at least I thought from what I read it was a bundle. So it comes with the DualShock
I'm
controller, the
reading that
DualShock
it's
Edge.
everything different.
Interesting. Yeah, so the Pro Console 30th anniversary, it's a limited edition bundle, which includes the PS5 Pro with 2 terabytes, Wi-Fi 7, includes the vertical stand and the special edition items, which is original PlayStation's control styling cable connector, 4 PlayStation shaped cable ties, a sticker, a poster, and a paper clip.
Wow. I just looked up the 23 PlayStation 4, the gray model that comes with the like gray controller and everything. They go for around $1,000 now.
So it's on the
That's
PlayStation blog
insane.
officially. It's very interesting. I'm going to read it word for word here because
Yeah, go
skimming
for it.
through it, it's weird. So I'm going to reread part of it and then go word for word. So, PlayStation 5 Pro console, 30th anniversary limited edition bundle. Includes the limited edition PS5 Pro console with 2 terabyte SSD, Wi Fi 7 and territory supporting the standard, and matching limited edition accessories, including DualSense wireless controller, DualSense Edge wireless controller, DualSense charging station, and a console cover for a disk drive. And then in parentheses, disk drive sold separately. It also includes a vertical stand and special collector's items, which are the things I listed earlier, which are the cable collectors, cable ties, the stickers, and posters, and all that.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it includes the Edge, which is a $200 controller.
I was gonna say you get the nicer controller with it as well.
So you get the regular DualSense, and then you get the DualSense Edge, which is their elite
Yeah.
controller, essentially.
Right.
Then you get the DualSense charging station, which is money, and then you get a console cover for a disc drive, but you don't get the disc drive included with the console, so you have to buy
Of
that
course not.
separately.
Why would they include the disk drive?
So it looks like, from what I'm reading there, it's the slim model or the discless model, and then if you buy the disc only comes in the white, but this is cover you can put over the disc drive to make it the same color instead
Oh
of
yeah.
instead of them making a disc version in the gray color.
Well, that would make them make a whole nother console,
That's
because this
fair.
is the PS5 Pro that we're talking about, not the standard PS5.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, it's gonna go for $1,000 easy, like new, and then the
Oh
resale is gonna be way above that.
yeah.
It does look nice though. All right, what else? I got a couple more. Actually, I got quite a few more stories.
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, AI is back in the news thanks to EA, and how much everybody loves both those things. Put them together, it's just a lovely sandwich. um, but EA had their Investor Day 2024 presentation. There's a couple things I'll go over. The AI thing first. Essentially,
Excuse me. Sorry.
you're good. Essentially, the CEO said AI is at the very core of our business.
Yeah, I did see that.
So that's always fun. And they showed a demo of 2 players in a empty sandbox world using AI prompts to create a level around them of cardboard boxes so they could jump and run on. And there's thousands of cardboard boxes that just appear out of nowhere, and it's an interesting video. Everybody should go watch it. But yeah, so they're pushing for more generative AI. I don't know if you have.
Skimming over the article, they talk about efficiency and how that's boosted it, and how it just makes it everything work quicker, I guess.
Yeah, it's very interesting. We'll see how it goes. Probably not well. Probably going to lead to layoffs, but
No, I'm sure.
we'll see how that goes.
According to Eurogamer, AI is already used by 62% of studios.
Yeah, which that makes
According to a
sense.
report by Unity.
AI's been in games for a long time. Like
right. I
Diablo 3, Diablo 4 use it. No Man's Sky's used it. Like, games have been using it for a while. But now it's just becoming to the point where it's starting to take jobs and stuff, or, cheapen labor. Yeah. During the investor call, I believe this was the same day, they announced some Sims information. They
finally a new Sims.
That's what you would think. But they came out and said that they are in fact not working on a new Sims, and that they have no plans to work on one anytime in the near future.
What? I thought they were talking about using it for a hub that acts as a central sorry, I'm reading as I'm speaking. One specific example of AI use is in The Sims, for its forthcoming hub that acts as a central platform for all series games. Yep. AI is powering discovery tools so that Sims players can search for a suitable in-game asset using photos rather than text.
Yep, that's going to be add-on to Sims 4, essentially. It's called Sims Lab.
In the new Sims.
No. Yeah, that's what everybody thought, because they had it had leaked that it was called Project Renee. And everybody kind of just thought, oh, this is Sims 5 because it's been so long, and, all that stuff. But nope. During this, they're like, yeah, we're not working on a Sims 5. We have no plans to work on a Sims 5. Sims 4 makes us a shit ton of money, so we're just going to keep making stuff for Sims 4, essentially.
Oh, that's no fun.
It is a multiplayer spin-off geared towards a more special experience. So yeah, it used to be called Project Renee. Now it's called Sims Labs. And they reiterated that they're going to be continuing support and adding stuff to Sims 4. They're going to be adding anything called Sims 4 Creator Kits, which are created by community members and not by the Sims team. That you can, I don't know if you can buy them or if they're going to be free. I assume buy it because it's EA.
Yeah.
But that's going to roll out in November. Some stuff is coming to the mobile Sims free play as well. It's going to be a cozy region on a mountainside. The Sims Mobile, on the other hand, is going to stop receiving updates. So Sims Free Play is going to keep receiving them, but Sims Mobile is not. There's an upcoming movie officially in the works with Amazon, MGM Studios.
Oh, great.
Directed by...
I saw how good the Borderlands movie turned out.
Oh, yeah, and that
the
Minecraft
movie is looking amazing.
It's so good. Yeah, I mean...
Why are there a lot of video game movies don't work? Like, in your opinion, what
World
is
of
the
Warcraft
best video
movie?
game movie that's come out?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, do you
um,
have like, do you know, or do you have opinions on what what's the best video game movie?
I'm trying to think of any. Resident Evil movies come to mind.
So the last, the what is it? Welcome to Raccoon City. That one was awesome, but nobody saw it because it was direct to video.
Yep. I'm not saying that they did well. I'm just saying that they were better than the average. Um, what other movies? I can think like the TV shows are doing good. Like the Fallout show is good. Last of Us is good. But those are TV, so it's a different beast entirely.
Yeah, Fallout was amazing. Last of Us, I still need to watch. I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't either, but it got good reviews from critics and audience as well. Um, were there other video game movies I feel like there was something else that came out recently, but maybe not.
I mean, there's stuff like Mortal Kombat that got a recent movie.
Which critically
Ooh,
and people didn't like it, but I thought it was fun.
no, it was okay for for what it is. It's fine. Five Nights at Freddy's got a movie recently that was
Yes, that was good.
pretty well received.
That was good.
Yeah,
That's the one I was trying to think of. Um,
yeah. Video game movies don't really do amazing. Like there's the Assassin's Creed movie that came out not too long ago. It was bad.
oh, that did
Uh,
come out. I forgot about that.
yeah, everybody did. Um,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of any other movies that got released that were based around a video game property. The Twisted Metal series was pretty okay.
What?
It was
That was
on
good. I wouldn't say
Peacock,
it was
I think.
great, but it was good on
Yeah.
Peacock.
No, that's why I say it's okay. It's fine. It's
I thought it was good.
serviceable.
I'm excited for the season 2, honestly, which is
Season two, yeah, they got it out.
yeah, got greenlit.
Remember to follow Mike Mitchell on Doughboys podcast.
Oh gosh. um, Crazy statistic about The Sims. There have been over 500 million players to date, and on
Jeez.
Sims 4 this year alone, guess how many hours have been played?
With 500, did you say 500 million or
So
500
500 million
5
from
million?
the lifetime of The Sims in general, like across all titles.
Jesus.
But I'm saying
Yeah, but you
this
say,
year alone for Sims 4, how many hours have been played?
oh, I'm sure it's in the hundreds of millions.
Higher. It's actually 1.2 billion hours of Sims 4 this year alone.
Jeez.
So, uh, yeah, people like their Sims.
Oh yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's all the stuff.
In other EA games news, uh, remember the game Skate? There's
Yes.
a new version of that that's coming out. Uh, it's going to be a free to play. It's in early access coming next year.
Okay.
Uh, which it looks really fun. There's a video on it that looks pretty nice. But they're instead of calling it Skate 4, they're just going to call it Skate.
Yep, I do remember that.
Uh, Set in Stan Vansterdam, a city to or a sister city to previous games. It's already been available. Steady growing numbers and early playtest of 2025. Sorry, I'm still reading up on it. But no, it's next fall. It's going to be confirmed for early access. That'll be fun. Early access is in 2025. We'll share more details expected in the coming months. That was September 17th.
Nice. I
But it's
know.
going to be on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. And this is Skate 3 launched 15 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
It's been a minute since that. Oh, man.
Yeah. I think they said that they're focusing on community engagement and they're trying to make it like a hangout spot. So you can like they're
Which
gonna have
makes sense because that's what skateboarding is.
yeah. I mean, and they pulled in like a bunch of actual skateboarders to help make this game, and it sounds like from everything I've heard because they've been trickling out information that this is gonna be a pretty good game. It looks like they have their hearts and minds in the right place.
Yeah.
What else? There was a quote unquote news report about a marathon. Um,
Oh, Bungie's game?
yeah, not much came of it, and it's from kind of a sketchy place. Um, I went to the Forbes article on it, and they're pretty much said that they couldn't verify the details of it, but then they like went on to explain why they thought it could be true, and then why they thought it couldn't be true. But essentially, the rumor is that somebody's claiming that they were told that the game's targeting a $40 price tag, which
Ooh.
may seem like it's not news, but after Concord just released at $40 and failed epically, um, that is a thing. Granted, this is a different
Yeah.
style of game. This is more of a Escape from Tarkov game. I think they said they were aiming
I
for.
was gonna say online shooter more, something like that.
It's more, yeah, it's more of a extraction shooter. That's the word. Um,
There you
and Tarkov is currently $50. But on Forbes, they have a pretty good article going over like pros and cons of this. It's supposed to be out next year. It got internally delayed, I guess. So it's supposed to come out, or like the internal date was early next year, and now they're thinking late next year, but no official release date on it. It's super interesting because while Concord was 40 and failed, Helldivers was also $40, and that was a big success for Sony.
go.
So they have, once two swings, one hit, one miss,
Right.
And to be fair, Concord, I mean, even if it was free to play, it probably wouldn't have done well because the game itself was just kind of just generic shooter. There is like
Yeah.
nothing that set it apart besides their characters were a little bit more colorful than other games. Um, but you know, it'll be interesting to see. Bungie's gone through a lot of turnover and a lot of things pretty much getting completely devoured by Sony at this point because of all the failures recently. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see how that game turns out next year. What else? I'm trying to go through the stuff in the title because we kind of went off on tangents.
Oh yeah. Sorry about that. It's my fault.
Nah, it's all good. I still have other stories too, so I'm trying to rush through so we're not running too late. Um, Microsoft Flight Simulator had like a giant showcase thing today, the 2024 Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Oh, nice.
The new one's coming out November 19th. Standard available on day one Game Pass. I'm assuming. Is it going to launch on console? It might only be available on PC at first, kind of like how the last Flight Sim was.
Oh, that's how Flight Simulator. I was gonna say it's how it released was.
Yeah, console or PC first, and then came the console later.
Yeah.
That was 2020, but they showed more in depth about a bunch of stuff, and yeah, it looks really good. I think they said it's the first time in a Flight Simulator game where you can get out of your plane and walk around. So
Oh,
that would be
nice. You're going the
interesting.
Forza way with it.
Uh, I don't know if because Forza you can't really walk around, but like in the picture mode, you can
I
have
mean,
your
in
person
certain
outside.
things you can. No, well, there's the Forza Vista mode that allows you to walk, in air quotes, around the vehicle, opening the doors and pushing the buttons.
Yep.
I'm sure this will be the same kind of thing where it's pre-rendered graphics that allow you in certain settings to walk around your plane.
Yeah, that and I think in Forza Horizon, when you go into photo mode, you can actually choose to have your person standing outside your vehicle instead of sitting in the
Correct,
driver's seat.
yeah.
And there's probably something similar. Lots of stuff. There's a new career system, which is different things, different mission objectives. There's actual missions, so you can become like a firefighter pilot or like a oh gosh, like a fighter jet pilot. You can do all. There's a whole bunch of them. Um, there's just a bunch of stuff. They have pretty much mapped every rock on planet Earth for this game. That's how detailed it is.
Jeez. That's
Um,
insane.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's going to be insane looking just flying around and landing. The file size 30 gigabytes.
That's it? Wow.
Yep. It's going to heavily rely on cloud streaming for stuff. But I mean, to include
Must, because that's so much information for 30 gigabytes.
they literally have a to the rock accurate image of the entire globe. And it's 30 gigabytes. Like that's insane. They said that like the areas that you're not flying in are lower resolution, but anything like in your flight path or like around you is being streamed in as a much higher texture to make the game look better. Like they're not gonna download and stream data from like Africa when you're flying in North America, stuff like that.
No, of course. I understand that. Yeah.
So lots of crazy stuff. The the full size of the 2020 Microsoft Flight Simulator, if you download every update, it's 2 terabytes.
Oh wow!
So considering they got all that down to 30 gigabytes, it's insane. But yeah.
All right. Horizon Zero Dawn. That came out not too long ago. It's finally getting a remaster rated for the PS5 and PC.
Yes, 7 years. That's a good amount of time for a remaster. Yeah. It's not a remake though. It's just upscaling, right?
No, it's upscaling. It's great. Like, Sony is. I don't know what
they have so many games coming out for the PS5 Pro. So I mean, I understand that they don't want to put a bunch of resources towards any more games. So it's just going to be this remaster.
Yeah.
I don't even think that's releasing until next year anyway.
No, it's not. But it's just like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, the first PS5 Pro game.
Don't like.
The first PS5 Pro title they're releasing is a remaster of a 7-year-old game.
I was gonna say it might as well be. Oh, we're remastering God of War for the PS5 Pro. Like
that was a 2018. That would have been actually sooner.
No, that's the joke.
I know, it's so bad.
It's like, why? I get it that they're looking for. I assume this one would have been easier to remaster than if they went back and did something neat that was on the PS4, because they own all of this and it's a console exclusive. I can see the reasoning for doing this remaster over Last of Us again, which they already announced. They are remaking Last of Us again for the PS5 Pro, but it would have been easy. I don't know, man. Why can't they give us Jack and Daxter again, or
for real, Sly Cooper,
Ratchet and Clank, or Sly Cooper,
Ratchet and
Mr.
Clank was a
Mosquito.
launch title, so I mean that's only 4 years old.
No. I'm saying the original Ratchet and Clank, the
Oh yeah, the
PS2.
PS2 era. Yeah,
Yeah,
Ratchet and
like
Clank, Going Commando, and then
Up
Up Your
Your
Arsenal,
Arsenal, Going
and
Commando.
then
Yeah,
Deadlocked was the
do one of
fourth.
like just
Fifth
one of
was
those.
Future, Tools of Destruction, and then I kind of fell off.
Yep. Don't forget about Secret Agent Clank. That was for the PSP.
All for
Uh,
One
or
was the
or
co-op one.
uh, or like I say, Jack and Daxter. They haven't done a meaningful remake of Jack and Daxter since PS3, I think.
They remade
Um,
Ratchet and Clank for PS3 as well, which is why I think they're
they,
not
they
doing it,
did, yes.
because I think they're trying to
But this
get
is the
PS3.
PS5. Like
Yeah,
the for the PS5, the first game that actually felt like a next gen game was that Ratchet and Clank game that came out
yeah, Rift
because
Apart.
of the portal usage. Yeah, that was crazy. That for 1 second you can be in this level, another second you're in a completely different area.
With no loading
They
screens or anything. Yeah, that was crazy.
exactly that made it feel special. But or or do Crash Bandicoot. Like they haven't done a new Crash Bandicoot game in a while. I think PS4 was the last one, but
Wasn't the
they
last one a
have
kart
all of these
racer?
first party games. No, there was a Crash
The Insane Trilogy.
Insanity, I think.
Well, Crash
Uh,
Bandicoot can't be done by PlayStation because Xbox owns the IP, right?
no, did they really buy the IP for that? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Activision. Activision
Oh
is the one who
wow.
made Crash Bandicoot. They just made it exclusive to
Well,
Sony in the PS2
fine.
area. But that's why the Insane Trilogy, the new remake of the first few games, that's why that's on Game Pass now.
Interesting. No, I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
But
they did have the
Sony has
kart racer
so
though.
many first party titles though that they could have done a remaster of something cool. Something
Yeah,
that nobody expected, you know what I mean?
yeah, like All Stars 2.
Sure, Brawl Stars, yeah. Dude, a new Fat Princess game? That would be crazy.
Yeah, that would be.
But but instead they're like, nah. Horizon Zero Dawn, Last of Us.
Yeah, let's milk our PS4 games.
Right.
Let's see what else. Fallout 76 update came out a couple days ago. You can now be a
Yep.
caravan leader. Pretty cool. It's part of the new map, so you can go down there and do all that. Have a little caravan, make money, new stuff going on there, which is cool. Do you have anything on that? Because I was just gonna kind of skip over that one. I don't really have
No,
anything.
that was kind of all I got for that one. They haven't really done anything big in the 76 world.
Yeah. Also with 76, there is. I don't know if you heard about this. I don't know if this was a. Excuse me. If this was a mistake, but right now, at least I think it's still on the website. There is a Fallout 76 General's Persona bundle, which is 1,500 caps and a skin, and it's currently on sale for $1,999. And I'm pretty
Is that
sure
all?
it was supposed to be $19.99, and it just somebody
Somebody
didn't put
had
the
an
comma
extra
right.
nine there. Yeah.
So yeah, thought that was a funny little mess up there. So it should be either like
Yeah.
9 or 10 or $20. I don't know the actual price, but yeah, it's just like oops.
Probably 1999 is what I'm thinking. And somebody had an extra nine or zero or something.
Yeah, it's bad. But I mean, speaking of money being made on games, Diablo 4 has made over $1 billion in revenue.
I saw their microtransaction thing is crazy.
Yeah, 150 million of that revenue was from in-game microtransactions,
Yeah,
which I thought
which is
because
hey, great for them.
everybody made it sound like it was so much more, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, 150." I'm like, "That's 15%. That's not that crazy of a number." But
Right.
yeah, it was wasn't supposed to come out. Somebody put it on their LinkedIn by accident, so we got to see that it made over 1 billion. And then I have one more story. So if you have anything,
No, go for it.
well, I have a little. I've one and a half. I'll do the half one. Bioware. The half one is Bioware developers came out and said that they hope people break the game because the level cap is kind of unlimited. So they're hoping that people can come in, play the game a bunch, and essentially they're excited to see how people break the game and do stuff and all that. So thought that was cool that they
That's
were
cool.
like,
I like when companies are like that. Yeah.
yeah, they're not like, you can't do this. We're gonna ban everybody or patch it. They're like, no, like go in there and see what you can break and have fun with it. So that would be interesting. And then the final story is kind of an extension of last week's story on Minecraft. They announced a date for the first Minecraft live show. It's the 15-year anniversary of Minecraft. The date for the first ever Minecraft live is September 28th. And they're essentially going to go over a bunch of the ways they're kind of changing how they're working on the game. Because there's a lot of changes going on there. I know we went over a lot of those last week, so go back and listen to those. And
Yeah.
yeah, September 28th, so 9 days. It's going to be a bunch of stuff showing off, and they're going to kind of lay down a roadmap. So, one of the biggest games on the planet. Interesting to see what they do there. And yeah, that's all I had.
Yeah. That's all the news that's fit to talk about.
Yeah. We went for a little bit longer on this one. No, it's been an hour. We just started early/late. We were aiming for a early start, and then we ended up starting almost at the normal time.
At the same time, yeah.
Yeah, so
That's my fault. I was finishing dinner off,
yeah, it's all good. Um, yeah, I got nothing else. Um, let's see. Next week, same time, I believe. Yeah, I don't got anything written
Yep.
down. So yeah, next week, last weekend of September already. And yeah,
I
Thursday
know,
at
man.
7.
This year has been flying by, dude.
Yeah, tell me about it. But as always, good to catch up with you. Hope everybody listening enjoyed and all that good stuff. What else? I'm totally blanking on the outro here.
Oh, remember to follow us. I'm Rozoku on all platforms. I believe you're Mr. Jantix on most platforms.
On all platforms, yeah.
Uh, yeah. Follow Standout Media on
Everywhere.
We're on YouTube, on Twitter,
Okay.
X.
We're, I like how you said the two we're not on. On YouTube, it's under
We're on
my.
YouTube. That's.
It's under my name on
Oh,
YouTube.
it's under Mr. Jantix. Oh.
So yeah,
No
follow.
wonder all the residuals are going to you.
Yeah, subscribe to the channel. Get us some residuals so I can finally pay this guy for being on here. We do have a Discord linked in the bio. And we're on all, what do you call it, podcast apps. Or at least we should be. I haven't heard of any that we're not on. At least we're on all the major
Spotify,
ones.
iTunes,
Podcast Addict, we're on there. So
Yeah.
I've been trying to keep the uploads to Friday at 6 a.m. I've been doing pretty good about doing that every week. So if you listen on there, we're there. Otherwise, we're live Thursdays at 7. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to give us reviews on the podcast services if you're listening there. And
Yeah, reviews and comments really help us grow.
yeah, it helps us get into that little algorithm. Word of mouth as well. Tell your friends.
Yeah.
All that good stuff. 9 episodes, by the way, so doing pretty good.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, next week we're hitting the double digits.
Hot dog.
And yeah, that's where you can follow us. We'll be live next week with more video game news and shenanigans. And we didn't talk about cards this week, so you know.
Maybe next week.
Yeah, maybe next week.
They announced a new Corvette.
No, we're logging off. Next week.
We're leaving now.
All right. See everybody and have a good one. Peace.